Hey everybody, welcome to Snow Talk. Way Through News meteorologist Brian Good here. We'll talk about the rain system and the wind currently, and then we'll get into the weekend, and of course, much more discussion on Thanksgiving week, which is full of some headaches and forecasting the way it's looking. And it's an important week too, especially for travel, so we really got to get that one narrowed down. Start off with the monitoring board for today on the snowboard. We do have still two dates listed, or two systems. The one system, Saturday. Again, not a big deal snow-wise at all, but it is a system that has wintry weather. Another system that could have wintry weather after Thanksgiving. It's just a matter of trying to nail that part down, and I'll explain why in a second. Let's talk about the warmer side of things now, and that is the rain. Louisville approaching an inch and a half of rain. The heaviest already beginning to end now. Fort Knox over that amount, and then lighter amounts to the east and a little bit to the west. We had a kind of a surge that came right up I-65 late this morning. They're really up the totals along the I-65 corridor. That's what totals are a little bit higher. You can see at the moment that Frankfort is getting in on some of that surge, so you may see your totals increase a little bit more before this is all said and done. But again, the back edge of the rain now moving through Louisville. A few little spotty showers trying to work their way in to the west, maybe here for this evening. This system again stretches all the way down into Alabama. And I'm not sure why we lose that image at the very end. But anyway, at the very end there, more of the severe threat is going to be found again in southern Tennessee into Alabama and Georgia, where they could see some isolated tornadoes later today. For us, though, now that the rain band's to the east, we've got to deal with the cold front, and the winds are really beginning to pick up ahead of that. So that's why the wind advisory is going to stay in place until 4 o'clock today. It's the winds relaxed during most of the rain, and now you notice there in our banners showing a gust of 21 miles per hour. So we've got listed on our map here, but look at the north side of Seymour, 48 miles per hour, and we're getting gusts closer to 30 at times to our west, especially right ahead of the front itself. So it's going to turn windy again this afternoon all the way until about 4 o'clock. So the next couple of hours, some windy conditions can be expected outside. Here's Futurecast, shows the rain is out of here, a few sprinkles after this. Clouds move out. The cold air is not going to be drastic right away. It's going to take a little while to get in here. So a cool night tonight in the 40s. And tomorrow will be bad, close to 60 in many locations, but then the cooler air will actually arrive as we head into Friday. Chilly morning Friday morning, and clouds increasing after a clear start to the day Friday. So we start off chilly, clouds move in and act as a blanket, so it doesn't allow the thermometer to rise much. So Friday could be a pretty chilly day. Some of you may not even get out of the 40s, the way it's looking now for Friday. And then that sets the stage for the weekend system. Here's the NAM model. Personally, I don't trust the NAM a whole lot after 48 hours. My confidence level in the NAM after 48 hours, I think, has some flaws in its formula. It's showing some, we call it a reflection. There is some type of warp moving through the Ohio Valley Saturday night. It's not impressed. I expect that to change as we get closer, especially within 48 hours. Here is the Canadian model, a little more impressive. The Canadian has a tendency to be a little more dramatic as well. But stretching the moisture band through here across the south. Here is the GFS, which I like the look of the GFS of the core being across the Great Lakes. The Urals slightly more to the south, but I still think this is going to be a core that should track just north of I-70 is where the main low will be, and it'll have a tail to it along the actual front, and it's that tail that'll give us a rain chance to start with. Because we could, I mentioned how chilly it's going to be Friday. Well, Friday night into Saturday morning, we're going to warm ahead of this vort that is moving in from the west. So we will likely warm up close to 50 degrees when you wake up Saturday morning. So when this first arrives Saturday afternoon and night, or early evening, it should begin as rain. Question is, how quickly does that cold air wrap around it and get it into frozen form? And the models do show that chance still is on the table, but it's only like an hour or two at best, and then it's gone, and we dry out. So that's why we're not talking about a big snow or anything like that. It's fast moving, almost clipperish in a way, how it's looking. But some snowflakes possible to fly, likely after sunset Saturday night. So we're going to be out Saturday night, see snowflakes flying around, take some pictures, be excited. But most of it will start off as rain, so not exactly the prettiest of pictures. And we do need to watch the wind with that, because with the roads being wet, hopefully we'll have enough wind to dry the roads out by the time we get below freezing Saturday night, so we don't have any problems with bridges or overpasses. That is a side note that we will be watching. I was excited today to see the Schreff model. This is the moisture plume, And for the first time this season, it's got a blue line showing up. This tells us the precip type, and it's looking far out, so it gets cut off where it runs at a time. But this is going to be Saturday evening. Show us how it starts up as rain and green, and then you see the transition to where the blue becomes the dominant or snow type at some point towards sunset. So I was excited to see that. First time this year I've seen it. And when it comes to snow amounts, it's showing a trace amount potentially, and I wouldn't run a trace of snow that could get it in the record books out of this. A couple of its members go crazy and try to give us measurable snow over a half inch, but we always have these crazy little numbers that do that on the Stref, so I would not pay any attention to that. All right. Again, not a big deal, but I am more concerned about the wind behind it, hopefully getting a chance to dry the roads out Saturday night. So, and that should happen, so I don't think it's going to be that big of an ordeal. And then we get to Thanksgiving. And this one is going to be stressful. How do I put this? We have a lot of cold air coming down. We do have energy that is, once again, going to be involved coming out of the Rockies. We also have, it's hard to see it, but there is going to be a little disturbance here in the Atlantic. Question is going to be the obvious one, is how quickly does this energy roll on out and greet us? This is Thanksgiving afternoon, and the GFS is showing already bands of rain being streaked toward us. Warm though, around 60 or so for Thanksgiving, but cloudy and showers moving in, especially Thanksgiving night. And then this is all snow and, in fact, near blizzard conditions in the Rockies. But you see that image. Now here is the Euro. Still dramatically different. Same time period, but it is holding the energy back a little longer before it decides to send it out. We may not be quite to 60, but probably 50s. Getting there on Thanksgiving, but mainly dry and probably a little sunnier too. And there's that energy there in the Atlantic. But again, the Euro has a tendency, when it gets this much energy involved in the Rockies, it either wants to spit out pieces at us for a while, or it's really just too slow on getting it out. And that's kind of a flaw in that particular model. So the GFS faster idea may end up being the right one. So we're still going to keep a small rain chance in for Thanksgiving. Because the GFS faster speed solution right now seems to make a little more sense of it being ejected out a little quicker, especially with a lot of warm air being pumped in. We call that warm air reduction rain. I can see that happening. But what's important about this system is what's behind it. Look at that cold air. 10 below zero, this is on the Euro, behind this shot of moisture that's coming out of this Thanksgiving system. So this is a system that definitely needs to be watched. I think it's going to be a rain system for us. May end as snow briefly. This reminds me of 2010. Ironically, the last time we had an El Nino. Not as strong of an El Nino, but last time we had an El Nino, we had heavy rain on Thanksgiving, and we ended with about 1/10 of an inch of snow Thanksgiving night. It would not surprise me that we could find ourselves in a very similar setup here. We'll see if this plays out. But this cold air is going to be key in what happens as we head into the beginning of December, because the EPO is still very, very much on the negative side. So there is still a good risk here that this cold air is going to head eastbound once this Thanksgiving system moves to the east. So a lot of questions on Thanksgiving week. If you got plans, plan right now for the GFS idea, which means rain, especially in the nation's heartland. If you're heading to the west coast or to the upper plains, plan on cold, snow, and windy. And if you're heading to the east coast, you may luck out and be on the warmer side of things for Thanksgiving Day. Now, Thanksgiving weekend, you'll get the mess. But here in Louisville, we're kind of, or most of Wave Country, in fact, we're kind of teetering on two different speeds here, the systems. But again, I think the faster one's going to be the way to go for right now. But all right, guys, that's how things are looking for the moment. Let's look forward to the first snowflakes we hope for this weekend, so we have at least can get that trace of snow checked off our list for the season. Have a good day.